Welcome back, Sports Club fans. We're in week 17 of the NFL season.
Last week of the year.
I hope you guys
season.
hope you guys had a fantastic Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa,
Festivus.
Go ahead. What you had this past week? We obviously took the week off last week, but we're back and better than ever as always. Let's talk. Let's talk about all games are on Sunday this week, including your game Sunday evening, but we'll get to that shortly. Panthers at the Falcons. Panthers are playing for their playoff, or they've already clinched playoffs.
Yep.
But they're playing for the South, guys. This is a huge game for them. The Falcons are just playing for respect, and I don't think they're going to make it because I think Panthers are going to come into Atlanta and actually beat the Falcons.
I have a funny feeling about this. This is a huge game for the Panthers. I just have a funny feeling about the Falcons this week, and I have absolutely no reason to back that up whatsoever. The Panthers are looking good. They're on a roll right now. They're
beat the Saints last week.
Yeah, and they're that hot chic pick right now that you look at every year before the postseason. You say, what team is hot right now? What team is on top of their game right now? And really, the Panthers are that team. But for some reason, I just have a weird feeling about the Falcons this weekend. They're bringing the Panthers in to the Dome. It's Tony Gonzalez's last game probably as an NFL player. I just have a weird feeling about this game. I think the Falcons are going to take this.
Okay. Ravens at the Bengals. Again, playoff implications.
Absolutely.
Bengals can actually knock the Ravens out of the playoffs, right?
Yep.
Yeah, that's right. It's been a while. Sorry, guys. Take 2 weeks off, and you're like, I'm going to Bengals at home. I think the Bengals actually are playing better now, and they play better at home, period.
Agreed.
So I think the Bengals are going to beat the Ravens.
I think the Ravens are on a roll right now, but having said that, I think the Bengals at home take this one. I think the Bengals they're one of those teams that you have no idea what you're going to get. It seems like week in and week out, it's something different every week from Andy Dalton and crew. But I do think the Bengals take care of business this weekend at home.
AFC South matchup: Texans at the Titans.
A little bit of a snoozer, you know.
Coin flip.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. I mean, yeah. This is a coin flip. Texans are away. They haven't played really good football the past few weeks.
Schaub is starting.
Does it matter?
No,
Doesn't
not
matter.
really.
Titans. I'm going with Titans.
I say Titans at home.
Titans at home.
Colts at home against the Jaguars. Yep. In this game, Jaguars have played really good football as of late.
Mm-hmm.
At the beginning of the season, we looked at the Jaguars and said, "Are they going to win a game?" Period, and we weren't sure.
Yeah, they've kind of rattled off a few wins in a row here, and they're actually looking like a formidable football team right now. They're not going to cause any. They're not going to make a playoff run, obviously, but they're a much improved team.
Let's be fair; they actually have the same record as the Falcons. But
those are two teams that are trending in different directions.
I'm going to take the Colts at home. I think the Colts have this and want to get to a better playoff spot than where they're at right now. Right now, I think they're sitting at the 4th seed.
Yep,
so
number 4 seed.
I think they're going to try to win this game to get to a better playoff position. So I think Colts will win.
Yeah, I would almost look at this game as it doesn't really matter for the Colts because right now, as they're sitting, they're looking to take on Kansas City in Indianapolis. And Kansas City is a team that's kind of reeling right now. They're not playing some of the better football that they've played over the season, to whereas if you move up one spot, you're probably going to have to take on Miami. And Miami's a team that has showed sparks as of late and kind of playing an upset in that division. So I would almost say the Colts.
Of course, I don't really think it's going to matter because the team right above them is also have the same record, so it's not going to really matter.
Yeah.
So it's looking like they're going to Kansas, or they're going to host Kansas City for the first round.
I'm going to go with the Jaguars in the road on this one.
Are you? I'm going to take the Colts at home.
Yep.
It's hard to take, especially the last week of the season. It's hard to take anybody other than a home game.
Agreed.
What's the next one?
Sorry. Jets at Dolphins.
This game. Again, Dolphins are playing for their playoff lives.
They are.
Jets are playing for Rex Ryan.
Jets still statistically, I believe, can make the playoffs.
They have a lot to do.
I think some stuff has to fall in their favor. I'm not sure if they hold the tiebreaker, but I believe they're still in contention.
Even if the Jets win this game, they'd be 8-8, and so would Miami.
Yeah, and Baltimore and. Baltimore wins, and if San Diego wins, and there's a lot of different scenarios. Pittsburgh is also right in the mix. So
I'm going to take. You know what? I'm going to go with the
You
Jets.
go with the Jets on the road?
Oh.
I'm going to go with Miami at home. I think they wrap up a playoff spot and win this one at home. I think with
It's a long way from at the beginning of the year. We thought that Miami might actually challenge New England for the division crown, and
Yep.
look at they're now fighting for a playoff spot.
Yep.
Lions at the Vikings, and Lions. Good God, guys, talk about a team in a tailspin.
Mm-hmm.
Vikings, on the other hand, are not that much better.
Yeah, they're about the same. I mean, the Vikings have a tie to their name, so how much credit can you put in a team that has a tie?
Well, Green Bay, who's also fighting for a playoff spot.
Yeah.
And we'll talk about that a little bit later as well. But, Vikings are at home, but I'm still going to take Detroit because I think that Detroit is actually playing for respect right now because as of the past couple of weeks, them losing the way they have.
Well, Matthew
And
Stafford's girlfriend.
Schwartz is just
Did
awful.
you see that tweet from Matthew Stafford's girlfriend talking
No.
about? She tweeted out something to the effect that it's hard to believe that we're at home with all the fans that are booing our team, and then someone tweeted her back. It's hard to believe Matthew Stafford plays for our team with all the passes he's throwing to the other ones. So it's a little bit of turmoil is going on up there in Detroit. They started out well, and they've kind of went into a tailspin. I think they're going to beat Minnesota. Do you think AP is going to stay in Minnesota next year, or do you think he is with a different team?
It really depends on what kind of trade they get for him because he's not a free agent, but he'd have to be traded to another team.
And there are talks about teams trading
It'd
away
have
the
to
house.
be if I was Minnesota, you'd have to be giving me a lot.
I would agree. I can't pick out one team in the NFL just off the top of my head that is just one running back away from the Super Bowl.
No,
I don't know.
but maybe Dallas. Anyway, Redskins at the Giants.
Quarterback and GM away.
Redskins at the Giants, a game that really doesn't matter,
It doesn't.
really.
Kirk Cousins is playing for next year, trying to see who he can get traded to.
Yeah, I mean, Kirk Cousins has actually played halfway decent football the past couple of weeks. On the other end, Eli Manning has played subpar football the entire season.
Yeah.
So, I mean, this game really doesn't matter. I'm going to take the Giants at home just because they're at home.
I'm going to take Kirk Cousins and the Redskins on the road just because I'm a huge Kirk Cousins fan. I think he can have success in the right system, given some time to start.
Browns at Steelers. Steelers are fighting, like you said, for a playoff position, and it's a long shot, but they need this game pretty bad. Browns, on the other hand, they started off the season just really, really decent, and then they just kind of fell off.
Yeah, both of these teams are kind of two teams during the regular season that they had one or two wins that came up and surprised you, but kind of week in and week out, you knew what to expect from them. They were a subpar team. Every now and then you saw flashes of brilliance, but it was nothing sustained. I'm just going to have to take the home team on this one because it's kind of a coin flip and go with the Steelers.
I agree. I'm going to take the Steelers at home. Yep. Packers, Bears. This game is huge implications.
For the division and for a playoff spot.
Yeah, you win or lose and go home.
Yep,
essentially.
Win and you're in, lose and you go home.
And this game is going to be really good. Aaron Rodgers announced today that they are starting him, which is it seems like almost a desperate move for Green Bay because as much as he's making just as much as Matt Ryan is, and to throw him out there for a final game for somebody that's playing for a playoff position like the Bears are, it worries me as a GM. If I were a GM and I had Aaron Rodgers, I know you win to play the game, but at the same time, that worries me just for a second. If this were any other game, week one, no issues. But,
well, yeah, but you're playing for a playoff berth. You win and you're in. You win and you're in the playoffs.
But the defense is going to be hyped up, ready to beat this team for the playoffs.
Agreed. Do you play to win or do you just play?
That's I know, but that's just my feeling. I'm going to take Chicago on this. I really think that Chicago's got the inside track to it.
I think Chicago's front four is atrocious, and I think they get a heavy dose of Eddie Lacy.
Okay.
I think Green Bay wins this one. I think Green Bay wins this one and gets that fourth spot in the playoffs.
All right. Broncos at Raiders.
Broncos.
Does it matter?
No. Terrell Pryor is going to be starting, but from what Terrell Pryor's agent says, the only reason the Raiders are starting him is to try to
set him up to fail.
Away. Yeah. So,
which Coach Allen has come out this week and just completely took offense to that.
And Terrell Pryor backed his coach, so I think there might be a little
firing of an agent this
yeah,
week.
possibly. Because when you have your agent saying one thing, your head coach coming out and saying a different thing, and then your player that you're supposed to be representing backs the head coach, that kind of doesn't send the correct message, I would think. Broncos will win this one.
I completely agree. 266 yards for Peyton Manning to actually beat Drew Brees' record.
Oh, God, I hope he gets it in the first quarter.
You think it's going to happen in the first quarter?
Yeah.
And he also passed Drew Brees' Tom Brady's record last week.
50. He had 51, right?
Yeah,
Was
he had
the record?
50. 50 was the record, so he got 51. What is he in with?
6 in the whole year, regular season.
Regular season, because that's all that matters.
I'd say 55.
55. He throws 4 touchdowns.
Yeah, against the Raiders defense. Yeah. Yeah.
How long, if you're John Fox, how long do you keep him in?
That's the key. That's the key here, isn't it? You know, I would say,
and they're on the road too.
I would
so
say
don't forget about that.
I would say, see you prioritize Peyton Manning number one, and you kind of regroup and you look at it at halftime and see where your cards are. And I would say half, personally.
Bills Patriots. Patriots win this game because I think the Bills just can't hold up with them
I
right
agree.
now.
Patriots win this game and clinch the number 2 seed in the AFC.
Yeah, because they're not going to beat Denver. Buccaneers at Saints.
Saints don't lose at home.
It's very difficult to lose at home. You know what? I'm going to take the Saints at home, but I'm going to be rooting for the Buccaneers.
Will you?
Yes, because I really just can't stand the Saints.
Now, I have a playoff scenario that will make you happy.
I'm listening.
Buccaneers win on the road.
Mm-hmm.
Cardinals win at home.
Mm-hmm.
Saints are knocked out.
That would be horrible.
Saints would not be in the playoffs.
That would be 2 years in a row the Saints weren't in the playoffs.
If as great as a start as New Orleans got off to this year, and as unbeatable as everybody thought they were, and as high-powered an offense, if they lose and Arizona wins, New Orleans is out of the playoffs.
Please, Bucs, don't turn into the Buccaneers.
I mean, that could be. We're gonna have a 10-win team in the NFC not make it to the playoffs.
Yeah,
we could have an 11-win team not make it to the playoffs.
Yeah, that's very, very true.
That's crazy.
Speaking of those Cardinals, 49ers facing the Cardinals in Arizona. Mm-hmm. This game is huge for the Cardinals. Like you said, I mean, we're talking you win and the Saints lose, they're into that 6th spot.
Yep. And
which really won't matter because if they're facing.
The Cardinals and Saints play at the same time. So, the Cardinals players won't know beforehand if they're in or not. So they're going to have to play to win.
The 49ers played really... 49ers actually looked human last week against the Falcons, actually. And I was watching the Falcons game going, this isn't the same Falcons team that I'm used to. This is last year's Falcons team.
Don't worry, Matt Ryan rectified that for you in the last 2 minutes.
Well, it really wasn't Matt Ryan's fault. I mean, Harry Douglas bounced off of Harry Douglas' chest.
Was it a pick six? Was it a pick six?
How many times has Tony Romo thrown a pick six?
Was it a pick six?
You know what? I'm going to take the Cardinals at home. I think Cardinals actually have a tough team, and they play tough at home. So
I took the Cardinals last week against the Seattle Seahawks. I'm not going to take them again. I'm not going to. Hey, they won. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to take them again this week. I think they have a letdown from the big game they had last week. I think 49ers come in, beat them, and the Cardinals fall 1 game short of the playoffs.
Chiefs, Chargers.
I don't know. Chargers are playing some good ball. Good ball right now.
They are.
And Kansas City is not. I'm going to take the Chargers at home on this one.
A win in San Diego would get to 9-7, and a loss would get Kansas City even a fifth seeded pick at 11-5.
Right.
Kansas
City's not going anywhere. They're going to be the 5th seed.
Yeah, because they're not going to beat Denver.
Right.
So, Kansas City on the road.
All right. We'll see. It's going to be a fun week of football.
Rams Seahawks. Seahawks beat the crap out of them after the letdown that the Seahawks had last week.
Yep.
Seahawks win, and Seattle actually clinched the number 1 overall seed this week.
Yep.
Clinched the NFC West championship. Did not clinch the overall seed because they actually still have to win this game.
Yeah, and I don't know who holds the tiebreaker between Carolina and Seattle, honestly. I'm not real sure. I would think Seattle would, but...
Didn't Seattle and Carolina play earlier in the season?
That's what I was thinking. Didn't Seattle beat Carolina earlier this season? We'll find that for you real quick. Yes. Seattle beat Carolina.
By 5.
Yeah. So Seattle holds
That's
that.
right.
Seattle holds that.
So they've clinched the number 1 overall seed essentially because Carolina's not going. Even Carolina has to win to actually get to that spot. So,
But Seahawks hold the tiebreaker even if they lose.
Yeah.
So
yeah, that's
they've
what I'm
clinched. Yeah,
saying. Seahawks at home.
Seahawks at home.
Big game.
And that is
Big
the,
game. We need to talk about this game.
What? No, that's the last game.
No, this game. This game on Sunday night. The one that was flexed for a really good reason. This game is going to be fantastic. Again, it's going to be a winner go home. And this is, you have to have a good feeling about this because think about it, dude. Think about it this way. As much as Dallas,
our starting quarterback is out. Our starting
much
quarterback for like
as Dallas-
13 years is
as
out.
much as Dallas has let you down this year, you still have a shot at the playoffs in Week 17.
Yeah. Guess what? That happened last year too. You remember how that turned out?
Yeah,
for
I
us?
do remember how that turned out for you.
RG3
But look
pooped all
at
over our
what
face
happened
mask.
to the Falcons.
Like this?
Would you like that?
What? Not to even have a chance and be able to have a shot.
Be at
like
the
this?
NFC Championship and then be
Oh.
10 yards away from the Super Bowl and
Last year?
lose?
Yeah, I'd have rather been in that position. I would have rather won a playoff game. Yeah. Seeing as Tony Romo's only won one his entire career. Yeah.
Technically, the Cowboys haven't ruled him out. It's not going to happen,
He's not playing.
but
Kyle Orton's starting.
technically, the Cowboys haven't ruled Tony Romo out.
Kyle Orton's starting. Or John Kitna, because they just signed him.
They did sign John Kitna.
There's some great news.
He is donating his game check to a local high school too. You know what? I'm going to take the Cowboys. I am. They're at home. They're going to play inspired football because they think that the entire team is based off their starting quarterback.
It is.
Which everyone complains about Tony Romo winning in the fourth quarter.
I don't. I never complain about Tony Romo. I would rather have Tony Romo over most of the quarterbacks in the NFL.
I'm going to take Cowboys at home.
Cowboys, there's no way they win this game.
No way.
No way. Who are the two best players in the Cowboys?
Romo and Des Bryant.
See, I would go Romo and Sean Lee. Both out.
Well, yeah, that sucks. But
We lose. We lose by about 13 points.
what was the game before that in Philadelphia?
The game before this one?
Yeah.
Oh, but with us?
Yes.
Yeah, we won.
Uh-huh. You did.
Yeah.
On the road.
Yeah.
And you're thinking that nothing's going to change.
We lose.
I'm taking Cowboys.
We lose. The line is 7.5.
Okay.
We lose. We lose by about 13.
That's-
With Sean Lee out, there's no way we win.
That's it for our Week 17 preview. Be sure to tune in next week. We'll be talking first round of the playoffs.
Playoffs!
For Bryce, I'm Billy. Thanks, guys, for watching.